welcome back to my channel. My name is Blurose, and today we are talking about wedding planning. Now, disclaimer, I know this is not for everybody. However, I remember before I was even engaged, before I was dating, I loved watching videos like this. And then when I did get engaged, I think I watched hundreds of videos on tips, tricks, and regrets, all that stuff. I thought it'd be a really fun idea to do on my channel. Now, if you don't know, I am recently engaged, so I am saying this from the point of view of me being engaged, but I think I've learned a lot, and I would love to share some tips and tricks, but I know that there's gonna be a lot more to deal with and a lot more to come in the coming months of my wedding. So I got engaged in February, and I'm getting married in June, which means it's a 4-month engagement. So I'm planning a wedding in 4 months. It is a short engagement, I know. And I have people around me who are helping me, like my parents, my fiance, and some family friends. But on the most part, I have been planning this on my own. A lot of it is my own research, my own dreams, my own just things that I've put into this and hard work that I put into this to make this wedding come alive. I definitely want to share some things with you guys that have helped me. And yeah, but thank you to everyone who has helped me this far, like my mom and other people who have really done above and beyond to help me with this. So let's just jump right into this. Okay, first, collect your mind. You just got engaged, there's a lot going on. You're probably freaking out. Write a list of things you need and do the big things first. So when I first got engaged, I freaked because I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to plan for the wedding. I have to look at party favors. I have to look at, oh my gosh, we need to move into an apartment. Oh my gosh, how many guests can we have? Which venue we're gonna go to? There's so many things that you're gonna think of. So just relax, just breathe, and know that you're gonna make it through it. It's gonna be okay. Think about the big things first. So literally write down photography, video, food, flowers, DJ, all this stuff. Write the big things down first and get those things done, and the little things will fall into place. Don't freak out about everything right now. Just get the big things done, and then everything will fall into place. And with that, make sure that you give yourself some grace. This is kind of my second tip. Give yourself some grace and relax. I'm a very organized and punctual person. I like things done a certain way. I've definitely learned a lot about myself in this period, in the way that I organize things and the way that I like things done. So make sure though that, you're gonna get stressed. Things are gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But relax. Just give yourself some grace. Rely on the people that you love. You are getting married, so this is supposed to be the best time of your life. Just enjoy it. Okay, number 3. This one is super important, and this is one that I actually discovered from watching YouTube videos online. It's that you need to have your fiance help you out. Ladies, okay, when we get into our wedding planning mode, it's just like boom, 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 boom. We get all these things done. It's all about us, all about what we want. When ultimately, you wouldn't even be planning a wedding if it weren't for your fiance. So you have to include him in these things. And it can be hard sometimes, and sometimes, like, guys are guys, so they don't care what the flowers look like. They don't care what color napkin or what shape of the napkin. Like, they do not care. So try as hard as you can. When you get engaged, one of the first things you should do is sit down with your fiance and ask him, what are 3 things that you want to see on the wedding day? What are 3 things that you dreamed of? Because ultimately, it's not all about you. It's you two. It's your day together. So get his perspective. And in the things that you can include him in with the decisions, include him. I know it can be hard, but just try and make an effort. You don't want to go through the whole process of planning a wedding and your fiance had no part in it at all. Then it won't feel like y'all's day. It'll feel like your day with him alongside you. Get what I mean? Okay. Number 4, and this one you'll hear from every person. Do what makes you happy. What makes you and your fiance happy. There will be so many opinions. Everybody's gonna give their 2 cents when it comes to everything. And whether it's good or it's bad, do what y'all wanna do. We've had already so many experiences where people have given us advice and it was bad. Like, some people have very different views on how a wedding should be, who should be invited, where to go on your honeymoon, how marriage should be in general. Like, some people are whack. Just stick to what you know. God in the middle of everything that you do, and you and him pray about everything, and really just let this process be about you two and no one else. Obviously, respect those you need to respect, but ultimately it's about you two. Number 5. This one is super important to my brain, my organized brain. Make sure that you are keeping everything in one place when it comes to your wedding. Whether you like technology or whether you like hard copies like me, figure out where you're gonna put everything and put it in place. If it's a Google Drive, perfect. If it's a literal wedding planner book, that's perfect. Make sure that you have somewhere where you're keeping everything in. Also, part 5A, try to have, and this I wish is something that I did, try to have a separate wedding email that you make just for the wedding. I know this probably sounds really dramatic and extra, but when the time comes, you're gonna be communicating and you're gonna be talking to a lot of people. And for me, I have still schoolwork that's sent, I have stuff for church, I have stuff for work, I have stuff for now the wedding, and there's a bunch of a million other things all on my one email, and it gets really frustrating sometimes. So make a separate email, but also make sure that everything is in one place. And a part 5B to this is make sure you're saving all of your contracts. You're gonna have a lot of contracts to sign. In some cases, this is used. In some other cases, if you're not at a venue, or let's say you're done a normal Romanian traditional wedding at your church, and you're just going to this the masa at the church, right? You don't really need many contracts. But if you're like me and you're going to a venue, you're getting other people, you're hiring people, make sure that you're saving your contracts, you're watching your deadlines, and you're really writing down everything, because you will forget. You will. Number 6, have a budget and stick to it. Oh my gosh. So this is something that I wish we would have been a little better on, and we are in a good place, but I can't stress enough, you have your budget. If you're getting money from your family, if you're bringing your own money in, wherever that money is coming from, make sure you have it set before. You know you have that money, and try not to overspend or overlimit. Don't try to overestimate or whatever. Just make sure that you have a budget and that you're sticking to it, because in the end, you don't want to be more in debt than you could already be in right now. Number 7, make sure that you're doing your research. I know every bride is different. For me, as soon as I got engaged, for me, I wanted to really understand what I was getting myself into, because ultimately you would never plan an event at this size ever, and you probably never will again, unless you're literally an event planner or something. But this is the first time you're doing something like this, and it's gonna be hard. So make sure you're doing your research. The wedding community in general is ginormous. I never realized how much industry just comes from this wedding industry. It's crazy. So make sure you're doing all of your research in every single field that you can to get the best quality, to get the best things for you. You don't have to be spending $1 million on things that you could easily save on. There's so many resources on YouTube. Read articles, watch blogs, follow wedding posts. Just do your research. Number 8, get a day of wedding coordinator. So this kind of varies again with how your wedding looks like. If you're doing it at a venue, if you're doing it at your local church, whatever that looks like. I think in general, having someone there to guide you and to guide the whole flow of the day is gonna make things 1,000,000 times easier. When I started watching videos and doing research, one of the biggest things you'll hear is get a wedding planner, because if you don't, it's gonna be a lot on you. So when I first started looking into them, wedding planners are pretty expensive, and some people are yup, it's worth the investment. For us, we're we can't afford to pay $2,000 for a person to help us with the flow, right? So we got a friend who we know is gonna kill it on this day, and who's gonna be able to orchestrate everything. So if you can get a day of coordinator, and maybe you don't need a wedding planner, I'm not using a wedding planner, I'm doing all of that myself. Except now I have the designer and the florist that are kind of helping and working with me. So I'm not doing it myself. I know I keep on saying by myself, but I definitely have people. But on the day of, you don't want to have to worry about things. You really don't. And I'm telling everyone now, I'm on the day of, if something goes wrong, no one tells me anything, because I don't want to know, because I know me, I'm going to freak out. I just will. It's who I am. And everyone's just go in with the mindset that you'll be fine. I know myself. I know that if something catches on fire or something, I'm gonna have a meltdown. So just get someone to do that stuff for you. Number 9, make sure that you're using the people around you. And I don't mean using in a bad way. I mean that there are people who want to help you. There are people who are there for you. I am sure of it. Use all the help you can get. Don't put it all on your shoulders. You have people that are there for you and that want to help you and be a part of this day with you. Because ultimately, and this is something that I heard as well, people want to feel special and they want to feel like they're used in a good way. They want to feel like they're helping you out and they're doing something to make you feel better. So I know for me personally, I'm like, oh, I don't want to like ask people for things. That's kind of awkward. It's kind of uncomfortable. Relax. Like, people want to be there for you. I mean, this is your only time in your life where it's really gonna like all be about you. There's gonna be people who understand that and are gonna want to help you. So utilize that. And last but certainly not least, number 10, take it one step at a time. This kind of ties back into giving yourself some grace and relaxing. It's a lot to juggle, but just know that at the end of all of this, you're ultimately getting married to your person, to your best friend, to your love, right? So just know that it's all gonna work out, and literally take a couple things a day maybe, or a couple things a week, write them down and just check them off. Like, you can do it. Like, and each thing you check off is one thing closer to the wedding, and just know that every little thing that you do, no matter how big, how small, it's one step closer to the wedding. It's one step closer to this new life and this new season in your life. So just enjoy it as much as you can. If I could say something else, like a little piece of advice, a lot of people came up to me after I was engaged and they're like, this right now is the best season you'll ever be in. And I was sitting there and I was like, you know, like, thank you, knowing that the past 2 weeks I've been like breaking down, melting down, because there's so much stress, there's so much going on. It's a lot to put on your shoulders. So my advice to you, and again, this goes back into, you don't have to listen to everything. So you don't even have to listen to me. You figure it out on your own. But if I could give one piece of advice, it's that, especially as a Christian, this is a season of waiting, and you know that. This is a season where it's uncomfortable. You feel like you're married, but you're not living in the same house. You like have two different schedules, but you're trying to match. It's a lot going on, and you know that you're literally stuck. Mentally, emotionally, everything, you're stuck. So just know that it's a season and that it'll pass. And this might not be the easiest, breeziest. And for some people it is. For some people, like, they're like, planning the wedding was the greatest thing in the world. And I'm like, good for you, you know? But it does get stressful. Realistically, it does get stressful. Just know that it's only a season, and that, you know, next chapter of your life, it's going to be beautiful, and that God has brought you two together, and it's where you're supposed to be. So that's my biggest advice for you. I'm excited. I cannot believe I'm getting married. I'm ready. I think we are 61 days out. That is crazy. It's all coming along. It's all happening really quickly, but I'm super excited. And I honestly, Luke and I we can't wait to start life together. There's a lot of sadness that comes with it, because it's like you're leaving this part behind, but it's all going to be worth it. And it's a beautiful, beautiful part in life. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's a lot of talking, a lot of rambling, but it's a lot to deal with. And I'm like, I just want to be able to share what I've learned, share some tips and tricks. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below any video ideas or song requests, and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. I love you guys so much. I hope you guys have a blessed day. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.